Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I want to do a video about feeling broken. And it's a video that, came up to me quite recently because people still have this belief that when you're doing this self development or trying to feel better, do better in life, that you are broken and that you kind of need to fix something. Now, let me tell you up front, you don't need to be fixed, okay? It's a perception that needs to change, and that will be what we will look into today. My name is Patricia. I'm a certified life coach, and if you're new on my channel, then hit that subscribe button so you actually get notified as soon as I publish any new content. And I want to say as well that there is a self-discovery course available. I've shooted this course actually a while ago, and while this is still helping you or still kind of a process that we all have to go through in order to really feel safe from within, to really understand where do we stand in life, and are there actually perceptions that we want to change and that we want to go through and push through. So there is this course available to you that actually allows you to really sit with yourself, because sitting with yourself actually allows you to be as honest as possible. Now, that is not always great in the beginning, and yet this actually allows you to go deep while you don't have to share everything right now. So you're reflecting first on yourself, and then you can actually talk about it, okay? So with this, let's start this video. So the other day I had a conversation with someone, and the topic was about, so people who are looking out for help or for support, they're broken. People who try to make their life somehow better, they are broken. Now, I cannot really say this enough. This is a very old mindset, right? Where you cannot be vulnerable because this means weakness. Listen, you need to wake up. We are in a new timeline right now. And this timeline right now is about being vulnerable is everything you have. So not sharing how you truly feel is not going to help you being happy in the long run. Yes, you can be closed up, but it doesn't bring you this inner peace you're actually really looking for. It's not money, it's not success on how we used to define it. It's that inner peace we are looking for. And being vulnerable and looking out for support means that you don't know how to actually make a change and how to make this shift. And if you're someone who is just like, I really want to get support, but actually it just feels like I'm broken. Well, that's completely normal, because you come out of a perception where you kind of look broken, okay? You went to a therapist or you went to someone who was able to help you. You felt kind of broken because you couldn't do it yourself. Now, this is a very, very old pattern where we used to believe that if we cannot deal with it by ourselves, something is broken. You're not broken. What you're doing is you're shifting from one perception to another one. And listen, it's not so easy to make a shift if you have no idea how to do that. So instead of thinking that you are broken or weak or anything like that, think in a way of, actually, it's quite smart. You know what you want, right? You just don't know how to get there. Why do you need to know the how if there are other people who can show you the how, right? For me, this is quite smart. Why would you learn everything by yourself if there are faster ways? That is, for me, smart, that's intelligent, that's like connecting the dots, right? Why would you choose to suffer for 10 years to figure out something that you could have already done, right? Why? Like, doesn't make any sense. I mean, I used to have this belief, and I thought, like, if I'm going to get help and if I'm going to get support, then something may, you know, inside I felt kind of broken, you know? And I felt like if I'm doing this, then something is really wrong with me. And I realized wrong perception, wrong timing, okay? If I'm stepping over my ego because I'm surrendering that there is actually someone who knows better than me, what's the problem, right? For me, it's really about, okay, I want to feel better. I want to do better. I need to change my patterns. I need to change my behaviors, and I need to let go of the past. Brilliant. You need help to do that? Brilliant. You can do it by yourself? Brilliant. You see, there is no right or wrong. It's just a matter of, do you want to get some kind of support on your way? Listen, I would never ever do anything again by myself if I have no clue. Why? Because I don't want to do this try and error thing all the time. You see, there are certain things that you have to do, and it is a try and an error. And whenever I coach my clients, it's not like this is a sure thing and there is no adjustments needed. But you get to see the ways in how you can actually really start to let go of the past. How can you really learn to use your emotions for the better? How can you start to use this in conversations? How can you stand your ground? How can you be more present? How can you be more confident? How can you actually be your true self? How can you be authentic? Okay, if you have never done that, how do you want to do it? Like, for me, this is I don't know, this is nonsense. Like, feeling broken for not knowing how to do something, that's really old. Like, really, goodbye. Goodbye to this, you know, like, goodbye to this. There are so many people, and we live in a time where there are people who have done what you are looking for, and it's, for me, a no-brainer, really. If you don't know something, go and ask. If you ask and you're getting information, then adjust that information to you, okay? But trying out everything by yourself because you kind of feel like you cannot do that and you cannot be vulnerable. And that's the other thing. Being vulnerable is the new currency. Why? Because that is showing you the path. If you don't know where you're going because you're suppressing your vulnerability and the way how you feel, hey, you're missing out. You know, you're missing out because you're missing the most important piece in this whole life. You see, being human means that you are experiencing it all. And it means that you need to understand how to balance it. How does it feel in your body? Is this really me? It's not me. Okay, so why do I feel like that? You know, it comes up in situations you may feel really uncomfortable. Understand, like, okay, like, what do I have to do in this situation? Like, I don't like this feeling necessarily, but how do I really manage through? How do I do this self-discovery thing, right? I mean, it's not so obvious. And let's be real, let's face it, we have never learned this, okay? Maybe in the very early days of humanity, people knew, okay? But right now, what you're seeing around are people are so overwhelmed. They have no idea how to really stay centered. And if you are one of them, so what? What's the problem? You see, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel uncomfortable, sit with it and see that this doesn't mean you're broken. And it doesn't mean you're broken if you're looking out for support. It doesn't mean that only people go to a coach or to someone who is supporting because you're broken. No, you go there because you don't want to do it by yourself, because you're done with that. You're done with that shit, you know? Why would you do that? Why would you try to do it by yourself? For me, really, that's a absolutely no-brainer. So if you feel that, and if this makes you feel like I cannot really, go and ask for support and really do something, you gotta question yourself, can you actually step over your pride? Because really, that's what it is, right? It's the pride that is holding you back. The pride that if you go and ask, then people will look at you and say like, you're broken. But listen, this is only here. It's not here. Your heart is never going to say to you, oh, you're such a broken record, like you still didn't got the point. No, that's not what love is, okay? That's not what you're here for. Like, really, your pride is standing in your way, and that's the real problem. Your pride is making your life difficult. So surrender to the fact that you may not know. And who cares if you don't know? You don't need to know everything. You're really good in some other parts. So what? Right? So what? Surrendering to your own path, even though it may look so different to what you thought originally. You see? That takes courage. That takes so much courage. It takes so much faith in yourself. And yes, you may be judged from other people, but you know what is even harder is if you judge yourself for looking out for someone who is supporting you. That's kind of sad. And if you are looking at other people and if you're judging them because they are looking out for support and they cannot do it by themselves, understand that this is reflecting back to you what you think. You think you need to do it by yourself. You think that if you're not capable, then you're not good enough. Or you see there's a whole lot of things going on of I'm broken is only the start, right? Because then when you really look into that, what does it mean? It means fear, my friend. It means fear. You're afraid to look into what is there. But you see, if you close the door, it's still there. It's not going anywhere. So you got to open that door. And if you don't want to do it by yourself because you are afraid and you are okay to say, listen, I'm just afraid. What's wrong with that? You see, what's wrong with that? Nothing. It's okay to be afraid. Because this will pass too. Everything here is temporary. You see, have you ever had a feeling that stays for 100 years? No, it's temporary. But how do you deal with that when thoughts come in? How do you react? What is your focus? You see, that is something that you need to train. And unfortunately, we trained ourselves really miserable. We felt that we are not in control of our own life. We felt whatever is coming to us, that's just is, No, you are creating it. You are in the driver's seat here. And that's the whole point. And to accept that the way why you stand in the life right now, the choices you have taken, you see, the choices, they are yours. And to own that and to see through that takes a hell lot. And so when we are coaching people, when I'm coaching people, it's about revealing what is there, revealing what needs to be seen. Because once it's seen, you can make a change. But you can't if the door is closed. And that's the thing. We all have it. You see, we all have this back door. And since we all have it, isn't it a good idea to actually open that door for every one of us and look into what is there? Why are we behaving a certain way in the outside world? Isn't this important? Isn't it important why we react? instead of thinking first and then starting to say something from a balanced way. See, you cannot act in a balanced way when you have a lot of shadow going on, a lot of the past, a lot of the patterns, behaviors you don't really like, and you just kind of try to hide. Are you wearing a mask? Listen, most of my life I have worn a mask. And you know how many clients are doing that? Well, most of them, because we are trained to be a certain way, that we need to behave a certain way, that we need to feel a certain way. And if you are doing this or that, you need to feel bad and shame and all of that. And it's heavy. Listen, you got trained to feel that way. Now, to untrain yourself, to unprogram yourself, why wouldn't you get help for that? Because when you are born, you see, you were born as a quite loving, or as a loving being, right? You came into this world and nothing was there. You see, when kids are starting to talk and they have zero filter, and then all of a sudden, 20 years later, you see how they behave a certain way, how they feel about themselves. Well, that's programming, that's attachment, that's conditioning. And that's fine. You see, that's something you have to understand. You're not broken because of that. But you need to get back to your essence. And your essence isn't the programming, isn't your thoughts, isn't your emotions. It's what you learn to believe. There's a huge difference. Anyways, I hope this video has helped you. We talk really soon, and I would say leave me a comment and share with me or with us your experience. Like, how has this video maybe changed your perception? See, sometimes it just takes a little small step to, that's why I'm doing this. That's what's going on. That already helps you to make a step in the direction that you feel more good within yourself. Okay? So let me know in the comment section, and I see you next time.